On April 19th, I uploaded a video talking about tower defense games. One of the games I highlighted was Bloons Tower Defense 5, one of my favorites. I praised the game since I had such fond memories of it, but I failed to mention its successor, Bloons Tower Defense 6. And the comments let me know about it. I answered in my podcast that I wanted to give some proper time with the game before I made any comment on it, that I wanted to give it the respect it deserved. And since quite a few people have asked for them, here are my thoughts. So let's put the spotlight on Bloons Tower Defense 6. Now, because I spent so much time playing Bloons Tower Defense 5, expect a lot of comparisons between the two. And just a reminder, this isn't a formal review, this is just simply my thoughts on the game. The first thing to notice is the huge graphical update to the game. I never played Bloons 5 on Steam, just online, so playing 6 on Steam, it was nice to have a graphical update as well as considerably less lag. The sidebar has been stretched out so you can see how much money towers cost at all times. Now, I don't mind this at all, but my biggest issue with the interface is actually the upgrade menu. Because they've gotten rid of the bottom bar, it now pops up on the side. But it's huge, it takes up nearly a third of the playing area, and when you open it, it can open up on either side. It'll make sure you can always see the tower that you have selected, but that means oftentimes it'll straight up cover the side where the balloons are coming out of. This is really annoying when you're trying to upgrade on the fly and it just stops you from seeing what's happening. I understand that it's a bit necessary because there are more upgrades in this game, but it seems so intrusive, and you could probably manage to squeeze this down by a good chunk if you make the images smaller or remove them entirely and smallen the buttons. Besides that, any appearance issues I have are really small and nitpicky, like when the tac shooter starts shooting flames. In 5, it pulses flame, but in 6, it flashes flame, and it can get kind of annoying. There are some new towers in the game, including the Alchemist, Druid, and the Heli Pilot, as well as the introduction of heroes. Heroes are unique towers that can only be placed once and can be upgraded with money or will upgrade naturally on their own. I really like this addition, and if you don't, well, there's nothing forcing you to use them. You can really strategize with them and choose your hero according to the map type that you're playing. Every hero has 2 abilities that unlock as they get stronger, all doing things a little differently. There are some heroes you have to unlock with monkey money, or you can use your money to buy alternate skins for the ones you already have, but it really comes down to a matter of preference. Overall, a really cool addition to the game, but if you're not a fan, it's very easy to just ignore it. Speaking of towers, every tower has had a major overhaul. Previously, every tower had 2 paths it could enter. You could have 2 of each upgrade, but then you had to choose a single path to max it out at its 3rd and 4th upgrade. Now, there's 3 different paths. Same thing applies, you can only max out one and go 2 into another branch. I really like this. It makes you feel like you can and should have multiple of every tower so that you can utilize their full abilities. At the end of each branch, there is an ultimate 5th upgrade. You can only have one of these fully upgraded towers per branch. So if you have 3 different towers, they can each go to a 5th level in a different branch, but after that, the highest one can go to is the 4th level. These ultimate upgrades are normally extremely pricey, but they're almost always worth it. You really have to weigh out your options and figure out if it's best for you to keep buying lesser towers or take a risk and save up for the big one. I really love the variation of options that it gives you. Instead of adding a bunch of new towers, they gave the old ones a brand new life. For example, the Sniper Tower in Bloons 5 was mainly meant for big blimps. The 2 routes contained either a supply drop to get money, or a route that just devastated any balloon it hit. Now in 6, the 3rd route contains a rapid fire option, suddenly giving the sniper a lot more meaning and purpose when it comes to clearing out smaller balloons, and it's quickly become my favorite tower to use. There are many towers I would have never used in 5, such as the Ice Monkey, which I actually use quite regularly now. And as I said before, where maybe just having 1 or 2 ninja monkeys would have sufficed in 5, there's now an advantage to having all 3 leveled up, plus they buff each other. It doesn't force you to use a variety, but it greatly rewards you for doing so. Much like 5, you need to actively use towers to unlock the upgrades for them. but due to the fact that every tower now has 15 different upgrades, it takes considerably longer to get them fully unlocked. Oftentimes I'll place out a tower that doesn't really do much just so I can get the XP for it, and if you don't use the tower regularly, it shows. The max upgrades take the longest, and there are some towers that I use in every game that still don't have one max upgrade filled out yet. Now there's a feature that allows you to pay real money to automatically unlock all the tower upgrades, but I would recommend playing and unlocking them on your own. It allows you to get familiar with each tower, learn when each branch is its most useful, and if you use the tower enough anyways, eventually you will unlock it. Another new feature added to the game is line of sight. Line of sight doesn't affect every map, but many maps will have tall obstacles in the way, which means a monkey can't see behind it. It really makes the game feel 3D. There are many maps that use this in creative ways where you'll have to place monkeys higher up for a bigger radius, or risk them not being able to see enough of the map. Some maps will have obstacles that you can pay to remove in order to give you more space to place towers, or more visibility for your existing ones. Now the maps themselves are really quite enjoyable. There are some that are an homage to the older ones, and some that are really cool gimmicky ones like the firing range or high finance. They all look fantastic due to the 3D elements, and as I just mentioned, many of them have new removable elements, or in some cases, non-removable elements, so that the line of sight becomes a legitimate factor. A lot of maps really cause you to think and plan ahead rather than just being different layouts with the difficulty of having limited spots to place towers. The fact that the game is on Steam gives me hope that they could possibly roll out updates with new maps every so often like they did with 5. One of the biggest game changers to the Bloons franchise is Monkey Knowledge. Monkey Knowledge is more or less a skill tree that allows you to have upgrading effects that carry over from game to game. Bloons 5 featured specialty buildings which allowed you to upgrade towers, making them more powerful or cost less. However, they had to be bought with monkey money and you could only have one activated at a time, and it would have a negative effect on another random tower. Monkey Knowledge is just gained by leveling up and continuous play. It adds a bit of a grindy element to the game, but it still allows you to feel like you're always getting a little better. To top it all off, there are daily challenges and races that you can complete, as well as making your own. They had daily challenges in 5 as well, but to be honest, it's not really my thing. The daily challenges allow players to dabble into the puzzle aspect of tower defense games. I don't personally play Bloons games for this reason, but if you're interested in that sort of thing, I would highly recommend Aliensrock, as he does almost daily videos and streams on these challenges. I love that players can create their own challenges with stipulations as specific as no selling towers, which towers you can place, how many towers you can place, and even what balloons go inside of the blimps. It adds longevity and user interaction to the game, and I'm sure that those who have many hours in 6 owe a majority of it to this. So overall, what do I think of 6 and how does it compare to 5? Personally, I really enjoy it. It feels like a proper upgrade. The graphics, the maps, the new upgrading trees. It doesn't feel like it's just 5 again but on Steam and costs money. It feels like an actual sequel. I've seen a lot of people complaining about how long it takes to get full XP for every tower, but honestly, if you keep playing and grinding, they'll eventually unlock. I've also seen a lot of people complain that it's just a cash grab designed to have you pay to max everything out, but I really disagree. Everything is accessible, and if you just keep playing, you'll get there. In any game, you need to keep playing and level up to get better, but I think because the game is a tower defense game, some people feel the process needs to happen quicker. I felt like in 5 it happened too quickly, and yeah, sometimes I wish it were a little bit faster in 6, but in the end, the towers I use the most will level up faster, and they'll get there eventually. I understand microtransactions in a game that you already have to pay for really rubs people the wrong way, and I'm not defending it at all, but you really can play the game without ever having to buy anything extra. If you're wanting everything to be unlocked right away, it takes away from the fun of the game. A lot of people in the reviews who commented negatively about the game because of the microtransactions also have 50 hours in the game, so they obviously didn't shut off the game as soon as they saw it. I attempted to play through every map on easy and passed them with minor difficulties here and there, and now I'm excited to go back and play on medium knowing I have better towers and monkey knowledge. The game has been out on Steam for less than a year, and I'm hoping that they continue to update it with new maps and heroes. but it's possible they've already done that and I just don't know. If they haven't, they should strongly consider it. If they have, I hope they continue to do it consistently. I also heard a lot of rumblings about a possible co-op mode or updated battle mode, and I would strongly welcome both of these as well, because with the new towers, it can be really fun to see the new strategies. My main issue would be if they don't continue to update the game. If you're into the challenges, great, you've got a game you can play every day until the next one comes out. If that's not your thing, there are only so many maps to play before you're kinda just done with the game. I haven't hit the point where I'm just grinding levels to upgrade towers, but I can kinda see it getting to that point. Now, I also know that there's a mobile version, and I haven't touched it. I know there was some controversy when the Steam port first came out because it was literally a poorly ported version of the mobile game, but playing now, I don't see any issues with it and it seems to have been resolved for the most part. So overall, is it worth the $10? Well, if you liked 5 as much as I did, absolutely. I've currently got 16 hours or so into the game as of writing this, and will probably end up with close to 40 before I move on to something else, assuming there are no major updates or maps added. In the end, that will equal about 25 cents per hour that I play the game, which is pretty good. It's a step up from 5. It's not perfect by any means, but I think it's a good step forward, and I hope they continue to add to it so that the community stays around. They have a potential to make something really long lasting like they did with 5 if they do regular updates and additions. And I will say that after playing 6, I'm not sure I could go back to playing 5. Everything just feels cleaner and smoother and nicer. That's just my opinion though. This isn't a review, this is just my first impressions since so many people asked. I'd love to hear what you guys think down in the comments, and keep in mind it's not a competition between 5 and 6. You can like them both, or like certain aspects of one over the other. I just compared them because I knew 5 really well and I wanted to use it as a starting point. Until the next video guys, be sure to follow the channel on Twitter at RealityEscapeYT for updates, or you can follow me personally at GhostBoy259, and I'll see you in about a month or so for the next one. Until then.